Is AI going to take your jobs, all the way to how can you use artificial intelligence to create efficiencies? I don't know about you, but every conversation I have right now is about artificial intelligence or tech or the future of work. And it feels like it's such a difficult position to be in. As your bigger sister, as someone who's been in tech for the last 10 years, as someone who runs a tech business, I thought it'd make sense for me to jump on and to give you some insights as to what the future of tech looks like, what artificial intelligence actually is, and how we can use it in our day-to-day. So in this video, I'm just going to break down what AI is, why we should care, and how we can use it to create a more efficient and productive life in our day-to-day lives. I'm not talking this big blue sky thinking of building a business and getting rich. I'm talking about every single day, how can we use AI just to make things a little bit better? For context, my name is Sonya Barlow. I am an entrepreneur, presenter, and author. I graduated in 2015 and actually fell into the world of tech, AI, insights in a media company before moving into fintech and then general tech consultancy. In simple terms, I was going to companies and companies had problems around transforming their business or setting up digital teams or using AI to create efficiencies. And they were like, we have this problem, we want you to go and fix it. And so I was figuring out that whole middle bit between problem and solution. That meant figuring out what they didn't know, making sure that the finances were enough, actually creating and managing teams, translating the communication, and then providing something of an actual solution that they could work in their everyday businesses. And so I've been using, or at least understanding, concepts of AI and big data and machine learning and different forms of tech for the last 10, if not 15 years. And so when I see a lot of content online that is explaining AI and technology, a lot of the time I think that the ordinary person who's trying to be extraordinary can't actually understand. And so I've actually wanted to do this for a while. It's me being a scaredy cat and probably procrastinating. That means that I haven't jumped on, but here we go. What is artificial intelligence? AI refers to technology that enables computers and machines to simulate human intelligence. It includes learning and problem solving and comprehension. Can AI currently wash my clothes for me? No. But can AI understand what type of content we like online and push it out to us? Yes. In the simplest of terms, think of it like your smart assistants. Now, you might be listening to this thinking, I've never used AI in my life. Actually, you have, you just don't really know it. For example, you're watching this on YouTube, probably. YouTube is using artificial algorithms to understand what kind of content you consume through large chunks of data, doing the processing in the back end, and then pushing out content that it thinks you might like. Google Maps is giving you recommendations on where you should go based on large data sets, but also it is using those same data sets to give you the most efficient route. Now, I also am one of those people that loves to beat the Google Maps time clock, and it makes me so happy when I do. But there'll be a point where it's possibly not possible because they have hacked every route which is possible because we as consumers are feeding into it. And I think that's a really important thing to note, is it really is based on the information that we are feeding into the system. Now, is data and AI biased? Yes, because a lot of the time our data, be that myself as a brown woman, we haven't been included. We haven't been in the research. We didn't really get credit cards till 1970 or something along those lines. We haven't really been considered in the health data in the same way. Like, the questions haven't really come to us. Or for many of us, myself included, it is one of the first times in our life that we are figuring out freedom and making our own decisions and understanding what life is, because we have been looked after by our family for so long. And so the data is biased because it doesn't have enough clean data, reliable data, accessible data, inclusive data, just, everyday data. And so if we are creating tools, of course, we need to make sure that we are feeding it the relevant information, but also companies, therefore, aren't always getting things right because they don't have the relevant information. But with all of that said, I'm going to put that aside for now, right? Because that is something that we're going to come back to in a different episode. Some cool ways that I've actually been seeing AI being used right now to create efficiencies. For example, ChatGPT. Prior to coming on this video, I went on ChatGPT and my prompt was, I'm creating a YouTube video aimed at women between 18 and 30 who are interested in learning about AI. Give me some top line themes that I should cover. That was it. And ChatGPT has taken the data of the whole wide world and provided me with some guidelines. Now, that isn't the only people that I hope are watching these videos, but I definitely know that when I was at that age and in that experience, I would have loved it if someone could just break down simple tech for me, especially as a woman in tech. Another way that I found AI was really effective was a couple of weeks ago, I was on a call with clients and they used a tool called Otter AI, which basically just took notes and a transcript of the meeting we were in. That itself isn't as cool because we've seen that happen. But what was cool is that straight after that call, I got an email in my inbox to say, this is a summary of the conversation, the key takeaways, and the next steps. And I was like, wow, that's like the next version. You don't really need an assistant. No one's there taking notes. We aren't there working away, trying to scribble things. Ultimately, there is a tool now that you can use, which is going to give you the information. Another example that I think is really interesting is in 2024, artists like Drake were using AI tools to create voices on their music. That was Tupac or Snoop Dogg. The point being is that any of us now can use these AI tools to incorporate celebrity voices. Snoop Dogg would have then endorsed, even though he didn't actually endorse it, it's just his voice is now available on the internet. Yes, there's a whole case going on, which we can talk about as well in another video, around Drake and Kendrick Lamar and the Universal Group. Personally, that was the focal point for a keynote that I did in Romania a couple of months ago, which is all about the ethics and responsibilities of AI. The point I'm trying to make is that, do we need to understand artificial intelligence? Absolutely. Why do we need to understand it? Because the world is changing. We can use artificial intelligence to create efficiencies and to be more productive and to ensure that we are being able to translate large data sets. But, and there is a big but, it's not always going to be factually correct. It's not always going to be relevant or accessible. Is AI going to take our jobs? AI is going to create efficiencies in certain roles. As I spoke about earlier, the note taker. We won't necessarily need a note taker anymore because we have tools that are creating notes. It will change the way we're working. It has changed the way we're working. This is 2025 and I'm creating this video. This is not the discussion we were having in 2023. I remember doing my first workshop on artificial intelligence in 2019 when I was invited to Budapest for the public government university. And back then, I think the stats were something around, by 2030, 92 million jobs will be displaced by AI, but we will have 170 million new jobs created. Now, the point I'm trying to make there is, yes, AI might take a job, but that just means that we can work on new skill sets and that we can create new jobs. So you don't need to understand artificial intelligence to the core, but you do need to appreciate that the future revolution, like the industrial age, like the digital age, is now the artificial intelligence age. It is moving at a greater rate than we would have ever imagined, and that we need to understand what the emerging roles might look like. So AI specialist, big data analyst, AI ethics consultant, AI product manager. If you're thinking of moving into the space of AI or you're just wanting to learn, pick one topic or industry area that you're interested in and look into how AI is shifting that industry. And 3, think about the skills that are being displaced and the skills that are coming into play. And 4, how you can bridge the gap between where you are now and where you are going to go. And then 5, think of work experience that you can put yourself forward for. That might be in the workplace, putting your hand up to presentations. That might be in your day-to-day, learning how to use AI tools like editing tools when you are creating content. Or that might be just having discussions at the dinner table saying, this is what I watched in the news. What do you think about this? And constantly upskilling yourself. Artificial intelligence came and took us all by storm. With that said, there has never been a greater opportunity for you to learn and lean in and listen and get involved. That could be everything from just leaning into conversations, to learning about topics, to listening to what's happened, to leveraging your AI knowledge in your career, in your workplace or in your studies. So I guess at the end of that, we can appreciate that AI is here to stay and that it's not going backwards. We are in a position of progression. It just depends on how much you want to progress and how you would like to future-proof. With that being said, this is my first video and I've done it, I've recorded it, I've put it online. I've probably closed my laptop at this point. Let me know which questions I can help you answer, which content is going to be of value. Let me know in the comments how I can make this a useful series moving forward, because I want to make sure that if we are consuming content online, which we are, that it's not adding to the noise and that it's really making sense. And so on that note, I'm super grateful that you have listened. I appreciate this is somewhere between a podcast and a workshop. Let me know what kind of style you prefer as well. And moving forward, I can most definitely give you insights as to what's happening in the world of AI, what news you should be following, what content I'm consuming, apps I'm using to make my life easier, all the way to new technologies and people that you should be following. Just let me know in the comments what makes sense to you. And please remember to like, subscribe, and share as we kick off this new discussion series on the future of tech, AI, and future-proofing your career.